Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about two-step equations and how we solve them. Before we do that, we need to review a few topics. So this first one is PEMDAS. If you can remember back, we may have remembered that please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Now, you have to excuse her today because she's not here. But what I'm really stressing is that P stands for parentheses, E for exponents, M for multiplication, D for division, A for addition, and S for subtraction. This is the order of operations. When we're trying to simplify an expression, say that we had 2 plus 4 squared minus 3. Okay, we would have to follow this in order to make sure that we solved it correctly. So for exponents would come before addition and subtraction. So 4 squared is 16. Okay, and this should be just a simple review. 2 plus 16 is what? It's 18. Minus 3, 15. So 15 is our answer using PEMDAS. Now for solving two-step equations, which involves, we are going to be using the order of operations, but in a new way. We are actually going to be using PEMDAS, but we're going to do it backwards. So it's going to end up being SADMEP when we're solving for equations, because right now we have 2x plus 6 equals 10. We need to get this x by itself. Remember, we're trying to isolate the variable. Now before, we were able to get rid of it in one step. We would just divide by this 2 and we were done. But now we have this pesky 6 that's on the end. So remember, these can be grouped like so. Addition and subtraction and multiplication and division are both grouped together because they can be done at any time. But remember, we're still trying to go this direction now, so SADMEP, so we have to get rid of addition and subtraction first. So if we look here, do you see any addition or subtraction? Yes, we see that we're adding 6 right here. Okay, remember, we're going to try and do the inverse operation to try and get rid of this, to try and isolate the variable. So to do this, we are going to subtract 6 from both sides. 10 minus 6 is 4. And that is equal to 2x. We go through and finish solving by just dividing. Now it's just a one-step equation. We solve out and we get x equals 2 as our final answer. Now just to review, SADMEP is just the reverse of PEMDAS. Okay? It's the reverse order of the order of operations. That's what we're going to have to do to figure out what comes next when we're solving a two-step equation. So remember, we get rid of addition, subtraction first. Then we can do the multiplication division, and if we have any exponents, parentheses, we can do that last. Okay, so that's the order in which you want to follow to try and isolate this x value. Now I'd like to talk about the onion method. Before we do this, I'd like you to watch this clip very briefly, and maybe a movie that you recognize, but notice what they're talking about when they talk about onions.
Ogres are like onions.
They stink?
Yes. No.
Oh, they make you cry?
No.
Oh, you leave them out in the sun, they get all brown, start sprouting little white hairs.
No. Layers. Onions have layers. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers. You get it. We both have layers.
Oh, you both have layers. Oh. You know, not everybody likes onions.
Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that clip with Shrek and Donkey talking about the onion. But now we're going to talk about the onion method. Alright, think about an onion having layers, right? So each layer has to be pulled back to get to the inside part. Now remember, x is our innermost part, right? We're trying to get x by itself. So that's the inside of the onion. What is directly attached to this x? This negative 3, right? So I'm just going to put another layer around this negative 3. Now we have our second layer of that onion. And lastly, we have this minus 7, right? And that's the last layer of the onion. Okay? Now, I need to try and get x by itself. I need to get to the innermost layer. So to do that, I'm going to start taking off some of these layers. So if I erase this outside layer, if I peel back this outside layer of the onion, what is left on the outside? Negative or minus 7. Minus 7 is left on the outside, so that's what I'm going to get rid of. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. Remember, inverse operations. So 9 is equal to negative 3x. Okay. So if we look next, we have to erase another layer of the onion. So if I start erasing here, I erase this second layer of the onion, and I'm left with a -3 on the outside now. Okay, so this -3 is on the outside. So remember, this x is what I'm trying to get to. I divide by -3, divide by -3. 9 divided by -3 is -3, and that's our answer. And if we think about SADMEP going backwards, subtraction and addition come first, so I need to get rid of that. But this is just a helpful tool. If this helps you, awesome. We're going to move on to our notes now. So if you take out your Unit 8 notes, we are going to finish filling out what we have and have you do a little bit of practice. Okay, so again, just for some recap, this is 8-2 solving two-step equations. If we have more than one number to get rid of, solving is going to involve 2 or more steps. So right now we're just focusing on the 2-step where we have maybe an addition and a multiplication problem in the same, but they will get more complex later on. To solve a multi-step equation, we use the order of operations in reverse order. Reverse order. So again, instead of doing PEMDAS, we are going to do SADMEP. And that'll help us in solving. And if you remember the onion method, that may help you as well. Okay, to solve, again, we have to get x by itself. That's our ultimate goal. So in this first problem, we have to get x by itself. So to do that, we are going to subtract by 12. Subtract by 12. And we are left with 8 equals 2x. Divide by 2, divide by 2, and x equals 4. Okay, if we look back through here, I got rid of the addition first because in SADMEP, we have to do addition and subtraction first, then division and multiplication, then exponents, and then parentheses. So if we look at there, addition and subtraction come first, so we have to get rid of that, and then we can get rid of in one step. So 2x equals 8 is just a one-step equation. So we're stepping back one each time. Okay, for this next one, -4x minus 15. Are we going to add 15 first, or are we going to divide by -4 first? We are going to add 15. So I'm going to add 15. Remember, addition and subtraction do come first. So this is 20 equals -4x. Okay, now we just have a one-step equation if you think back to the last section. Divide by -4, divide by -4, x is equal to -5. Wonderful. What I'm going to have you do now is try 3, 4, 5, and 6 on your own. Pause the video if you'd like, and in about 10 seconds I'm going to start going over the answers and reveal the answers to you and answer any questions that you may have. Okay, again, if you'd like to check your work, you may at this time. Each of these are a two-step equation, so make sure that you have the correct answer and the work there is provided. If you have any questions, you can shoot me an email at mrjkorb@gmail.com. You can visit my YouTube page, where you can find my website, www.mrkorb.com. And hopefully this has helped. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Have a nice day.